So I decided to run for U.S. Senate really out of this lifelong commitment I have of changing the system and ending poverty and addressing structural racism and understanding that in this particular chamber of our federal government, so many of the decisions that shape our lives are being halted there, progress is being blocked there, and if you look at that chamber, there are very few people that understand the struggle that I've experienced in the hood, in the west end of Louisville, in this Commonwealth of Kentucky. Regular people need to be represented. And this is a moment where we're fighting for survival. You know, I often say I'm running for office out of survival, and I'm running for my girls, my 3 bosses. I'm running for my cousins who have been murdered the last 5 years. I'm running for my mom who went without food to feed me. I'm running for a Commonwealth that has been ignored and exploited by Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell. Well, you know, I would say something like professional singing. I have singing in my family. My mom is a professional singer, and you know, when I'm in the car and no one's around, I like to think I am. But you know, as it relates to the work and how important it is to communicate and reach people digitally, being able to design and build websites, being able to create and edit content. I have the vision. So with our social media, with a lot of our videos, most of that is me leading it and directing it. But I don't shoot the video. I'm not the one that edits it. And so being able to do that type of work would be a skill I'd love to have. So I stumbled into politics. You know, I never thought I would do anything like this. Both my parents dropped out of high school. I'm from the struggle. We don't really talk about politics. We are just trying to get through the day. And when I started branching out into my career, I went to law school. I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to represent and lift up the voices of people that don't get heard. And I've had an incredible journey. I'm grateful for it. I ended up being a director for the Department of Fish and Wildlife here in Kentucky. Black guy from the hood, director of an agency with nearly 700 employees, 99% white. And it took me all over Kentucky. And when I started meeting with folks from different backgrounds, the scenery was different, the geography was different, but the stories were the same. It lit the switch for me. It helped me understand that our common bonds are so great that the things that are frustrating me and pissing me off in the hood and the West End are so many of the same challenges people face in Appalachia. And that's where that from the hood to the holler vision came from, of bringing people together. And I realized that in government, in public service, in elected office, so many of the decisions that are blocking us, preventing us from having the opportunity to succeed or thrive, when I realized that that's where all of those decisions come together, I knew we had to do our work right there. And I'm grateful to have found my purpose, and I will be fighting for this structural change the rest of my life, whether I'm in elected office or not. I love watching Atlanta. The series just came back on. It's very well done. It tells a really interesting story. I have a lot of connections to, but it's just very creative. And on the political side, you know, I've always been a big fan of Veep. I'll go back and watch episodes of Veep and sort of laugh to keep from shedding a tear or two from time to time. You know, but I really appreciate shows that can help tell a story. Insecure is another one that I love to watch. I appreciated Issa Rae's vulnerability and her willingness to, you know, show behind the scenes of what it means to try to fight for your identity and build relationships and show love as a strong Black person. You know, we have so many needs. Kentucky is at the bottom in damn near everything, and we have Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul. So on behalf of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I am proud to do my part and at least get rid of one of those terrible foods. But the first thing that I want to do, this is the first thing I did when I went to the State House. I filed a bill for restoration of voting rights. And I did that because Kentucky has been one of the most disenfranchised states in the country. We know what it feels like to be silenced, to be ignored, and to be discarded. And as we are looking at democracy on the national level, democracy, our pursuit of it, because we haven't realized it, is hanging on by a thread. The first thing that I want to do is make sure we strengthen and secure our pursuit of democracy. And the John Lewis Voting Rights Act should already passed. For the People Act, making sure we're getting big money out of politics, but making it easier for all of us to be heard, especially those of us who have been systematically blocked from the ballot box. We do that foundationally, then we get on to the work of making sure everyone has quality health care, that people have financial freedom, that we address the climate chaos that is bearing down upon us, and most importantly, we're inspiring more people to stand up and run at the local, state, and federal level, which is part of my long-term work. So there's a couple things, but during the campaign, the thing that I love to do is play basketball with my daughters. So you asked me earlier if it was a skill I wish I could dunk. I still have a good jumper. I look forward to putting that on display with the rest of the senators. You know, I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage. I saw Cory Booker get crossed up a little bit, just give him a hard time. But you know, one thing that I love, and I come from a really big family, so I'm one of over 70 grandkids. The 4th of July was the greatest time for us to get together. My mom makes the best potato salad, and you know, we'd all get together, go swimming, and you know, play volleyball and listen to some good music, do some dancing. And I look forward to winning this race and seeing all the family in the summer and doing some dancing again. My favorite moment on the campaign trail, hands down. I even wrote about this. So I have a book coming out. It's called From the Hood to the Holler, that I talk about this story. This was a game changer for me. So I was in Eastern Kentucky, in Appalachia. There's Confederate flags, there's Trump flags, and I'm knocking on doors as a Black man, and there ain't a whole lot of Black people around, talking about a Green New Deal, because the water crisis and infrastructure is so bad in so many communities across Eastern Kentucky. We need that investment in infrastructure. We need clean air, clean water. So I'm knocking on doors, and I went up to a trailer, had a Confederate flag, I knocked on the door. This little old lady, white lady, opened the door, and she looked like she was half asleep, had a robe on, her hair was disheveled. I thought she was gonna cuss me out. But I approached her the same way I approach everybody. You know, I'm Charles Booker, a state representative, running for U.S. Senate, and I want you to have clean water. And I want to know what is concerning you. What are you frustrated about? And she heard me talking about clean water, and she reared back, because I told her about the Green New Deal. And she said, a Green New Deal? Clean water? We need that. We need that type of support. Nobody ever cares about us. Nobody comes to see us. Not only that, we all need health care. It's not right that some of us are dying because we don't have enough money. We can't afford to keep our utilities on. Like, she went on and on, essentially carrying the message for my campaign. And it was one of the most powerful moments for me, because it reminded me, and I think it should remind all of us, don't judge a book by the cover, and don't write off people that you haven't given a chance. And I carried that with me, and I look forward to knocking on her door when I get back out there soon to let her know we're gonna win this race.